Hello everyone, this is Linkimus Prime, and today we're going to be doing an unboxing slash review. Now, I just went toy hunting at 2 Targets today, and the second Target that I went to, I found these guys, and they weren't in the area I was expecting them to be in, but I was still genuinely shocked to find these. But today, we're going to be unboxing and reviewing the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles x Godzilla crossover, Leonardo as Godzilla and Raphael as Rodan. Now, they did not have Michelangelo as King Ghidorah. I'm not too upset about that because technically the lineup is incomplete in itself since we are supposed to be getting Donatello as Jet Jaguar. So having an incomplete set is fine for me because the set is already incomplete in itself. But anyways, let's get these guys opened up and see what they are like. Real quick before I move into the unboxing, I do want to just take a look at this real quick. I love the way he's displayed in the box. Got Leo x Godzilla, Playmates, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles x Godzilla. Got some box art on the sides and on the other side, and I love this box art. This is awesome, and yes, this is the thing that does confirm that Donatello will be Jet Jaguar. Got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles x Godzilla on the top, and nothing too much at the bottom, but anyways, that's really about it. And here we have Leonardo as Godzilla, and he looks interesting, I will say that. But I really like it. I think this is like how I would think a Ninja Turtle would look as Godzilla, and I love it. Very nice shade of green here on majority of the body. Very nicely sculpted, kind of molded in detailing here. It does get just a tiny bit lost in the sculpt, but it's not terrible. Love the shade of blue for all the bandana bits. Got some nice the same green from the arms on the dorsals here. Tail looks really good. I love the shading on the front shell here. I think that looks fantastic. The teeth and the red here is nicely painted. The eyes are pretty even. And yeah, and of course we have the yellow L belt buckle right there. And man, this is awesome. Now, I will say this really reminds me of the Hanna-Barbera Godzilla. Just that green and just kind of like the way the dorsals and the tail look. Yeah, this screams Hanna-Barbera Godzilla, and I really, really like that. But yeah, he looks fantastic, proportionally very cool. And then his katanas here are actually like covered in this like atomic, well, they're molded in this clear blue plastic and then painted over silver as well. I'm pretty sure the blue here for the handle is also painted, but I really like the way this looks. This is awesome. Of course, he has 2, and you just pop them in the hand like so. And that looks awesome. Now, unfortunately, there's no way for him to sheathe these. I don't see how that would be possible considering how thick these are and the dorsals, so I'm not upset about that at all. But yeah, he looks fantastic, and I love this so far. Now, in terms of articulation, he does have a ball joint at the head, which allows him to look up and down and all the way around, including some side to side right here. Arms can rotate all the way around, move up and down that far, swivel at the elbow, bend at the elbow, swivel at the wrist. Nothing at the torso as far as I can see. The legs can swivel outward and inward like so, kick forward and back that far. It does look a little bit weird here, so that's interesting. We do have a swivel at the knee, a bend at the knee, a swivel at the ankle, and up and down movement at the ankle. No ankle tilt at all, but that is fine. And then the tail, I feel like the tail could have had a little bit more. There is no ball joint here, it's just a swivel, so that is kind of disappointing for me. Because if they were able to do a ball joint at the head, they could have done a ball joint at the tail, but either way, it still does what it needs to. It poses the way it should, you know, if you're looking at it head on, so I can't really complain too much. But yeah, overall, I really like this figure. And yeah, but anyways, let's move on to Raphael. Taking a quick look at Raphael in the box, he looks very nicely presented. Again, same stuff all the way around, so not too much to cover, but let's get him opened up. And here we have a Raphael as Rodan, and to be completely honest, I'm not feeling as crazy on this one as I was about the Leo Godzilla. However, that is mainly due to the fact that it's just Rodan. Now, I do think this works perfectly, because it's, Rodan, red, and Raphael, yeah, the red too, so, and it works too. Of course, you have the little R on the belt buckle right there, which is even more perfect. But so far, there are a few things that I noticed that I'm not too big on. I will say, though, it is interesting because the Leo Godzilla I was excited for. Leo isn't my favorite Ninja Turtle, but Godzilla, is my preferred kaiju. And then Raphael is actually my favorite Ninja Turtle, but Rodan is not my preferred kaiju. So they kind of like switch off a little bit here on this one. But anyways, kind of moving in on the detailing here. It is Raphael if he was a bird, but like a very angry fire bird. And I love it. I actually really like this. But just kind of moving closer on all the details. The head is pretty nicely painted. The yellow on the beak is painted well. Teeth and tongue are also nicely applied. The eyes look a little wonky, but it's not terrible. The little horns right here are also painted decently. And then, of course, we have more of that really cool looking yellow to orange shading right here on the front of the shell, which looks awesome. Back of the shell is just basic green, but there is some more yellow painted spikes down here. The wings are actually done in a clear rubbery plastic, but this is where I do have a bit of an issue. They are attached to the arms, so it does kind of make posing. I feel like it's going to make posing kind of awkward, as you can see, like trying to pose the arms kind of goes down. Luckily, there are these little cuts right here to kind of help with a little bit more range of motion, but still, it's a little on the weird side. Of course, the yellow R right there, the red bandanas all over look pretty good, and that's really all I can say about paint. Everything is nicely done, can't complain there. The sculpt is pretty good. And of course, I do want to talk about his little fire size right here. I think these are sick. They are molded in a clear orange plastic with red and yellow paint here on the little handle bits as well. And they just pop in the hands like so. And that's really cool. Articulation is fairly the same as it was on Leo, except with a few limitations, of course. Ball joint at the head, so we can look up that far and down that far, a little bit of side to side and all the way around like so. The arms cannot move all the way around. They probably could if it weren't for the wings, which looks to actually, they're actually attached by this little wristband right here. So yeah, I feel like if you pop the hand out and just pop that out, you could probably just, have a little bit more range, but that's just kind of how the figure is made. So just a little bit of range here, and that's really about it. They can move out and in that far, swivel at the elbow, bend at the elbow, swivel at the wrist all the way around. Again, nothing at the torso. The thighs can swivel here, as well as kick forward and back. There is a swivel at the knee, like so, a bend at the knee, and the ankle can move up and down and rotate ever so slightly. It is a little on the stiff side, but you can do it. So yeah, that's pretty much the articulation for Raphael. And for my final comments on these figures, I gotta say, they're fun, they're goofy, they're stupid, and I love them. They're fairly cheap too. I mean, they are 15 bucks, which is a little bit more than like usual, but they do have more articulation on them, which in my opinion, due to the parts count, does equal out. But 15 bucks still isn't bad per each figure. Like, that's still a pretty good deal. Like, you're paying 30 bucks just for these two alone, plus an additional 15. So, like, I don't know what, like 45? Yeah, 45 bucks for, like, the three that are out so far. That's not bad. And by the time, we get Donatello, that's still, like, 60 bucks total. That's fantastic. So, yeah, I really recommend getting these guys. I do really want to find the Michelangelo Ghidorah. But I would like Playmates to at least release the Donatello Jet Jaguar, because that one definitely, I wouldn't say intrigues me the most, but I am curious to see what he'll be like just after seeing these guys. But yeah, these are awesome. I love them, and I highly recommend them. But anyways, guys, that is my look at the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles X Godzilla crossover figures. And yeah, they're awesome. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.